We have to create passive income, yes, and we have to become financially free, yes, but what's the formula? You got to have something, right? So we also have our formula, and we named it nicely, thanks to our team. We named it what is called as a prosperity pyramid. What is it? It's a 3-step process. The step 1 is about foundation step. Step 2 is building the core step, and step 3 is where we call as the performance step. Now, to build the structure, there are a few essential elements, and there are 4 ingredients. I'll give you an example of what an ingredient, you obviously know what it is, but to give you an example, I was driving by and I had to fuel up my car, and I just saw KFC. Everyone knows KFC, yeah? Yeah. And on their wall, they had a very nice little marketing campaign which said, our secret recipe. It was written on top, and it said, a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a sprinkle of this and everything, and you have the final product, yes? And then when you have a little bit of this and you do more of that, you don't get the same result. Similarly, when we are building the structure, when we are talking about the essentials, the proportion and the quantity of the essentials are very, very critical. And this is where we come in. Now, what happens in the foundation? Step 1. Here we are looking at building assets to ensure liquidity. Understood the business formula? Right? However, liquidity doesn't mean that you get cash flow, yeah? You started a business doesn't mean that it started giving you income, correct? So that's the negative. Usually, we park more than 50% of the assets into this kind of a basket. We don't like to play around with nearly half of our wealth that we have. Things like mutual funds, stocks have been our favorite. And obviously things like liquid deposits and cash in bank can be considered as your foundation asset. Now, building your core. Just think about it, okay? Now you're trying to save up for a car. Okay, imagine you're trying to save up for a car, and that car is just behind this wall. It is being built. Okay, and what happens is there's a small little pocket in which you keep saving for the car. And we say that for 5 years, we're not going to open the door, or we're not going to give you the car key. Now, is there a chance that you could be disappointed after 5 years? When actually the door is opened and you get the delivery of the car? Isn't it? So maybe it is not up to your taste, or it is not having enough fuel to go the distance, or it is maybe a tire missing. We don't know. Therefore, the way we work is that we just kind of create a nice little door there, and we walk you through the door, and you can see that being built. So therefore, in the core, we look at clearly creating income. We believe in the same business formula. You use the form, to create cash flow, period. We like to generate income as fast as possible. Challenge, as you know, when you invest in something like a real estate or something, there's lack of liquidity. Asset allocation, 30%. Rental properties, structured notes, all these are our favorite assets. Some of them have bonds, we can consider them. Now, with 80% of the money just lying in real estate and cash and bank, how can you become financially free? You may ask. Yes? Yes? Before that, before I speak about the performance team, okay, let me give you a little bit of example. Who knows about this sport, yeah? It's very easy, right? What's it? It's a Formula 1, right? The objective is drive this $20 million car as fast as possible, as crazy as possible, without crashing, win the cup. Yes? How many of you are familiar with this thing in investing? Invest your hard-earned money in the hands of professionals, expecting them to deliver as fast as possible. But what's the condition? Don't scratch my car. So, as you know, this is where your team plays a big role. Because what would happen is, before you have to understand that when you're building your business and when you're building this structure, what you see on the right is risk, right? However, for people who are used to working in a certain environment, can I switch it with the word called sophistication? Yes? So this is where we value our team a lot. We appreciate and we always collaborate and create that. So this is what happens in the performance scheme, performance basket. The assets are here to simply amplify the wealth, purely because you use your team and the power of leverage. Leverage is nothing but when you buy your house, you put 30% down and you take 70% loan, meaning for 30% of the money, you're controlling that big property. Yes? So in the financial markets, you get access to 10 times, 20 times, 100 times. So this is a very, very important nuclear bomb that you have. So essentially what you're doing is, if you have a 1 crore of your entire in the pyramid, with 20 lakhs, you're controlling more money than your entire net worth. So it's a very, very, very powerful tool which could lead to disastrous results if it is not applied. And that's where we again come in. We act as those gatekeepers who will just open up the gates and channelize the money. Hope that makes sense. Yes? Cool. Sophistication. Without a team, it's questionable, because here we are talking about becoming the Amazons of the world. Recommended asset allocation. Again, what we do is that we look at risk profile of clients and see that someone is not overly derivatives, futures and options, leveraging the assets from the core helps, and currency trading. So in short, foundation, look at building. This is what we do for all of you. We have done this. Build liquidity, no cash flow. Use that part of it, build some cash up. Use it to build some core assets where liquidity could be a challenge, but cash flow should be certain. And then that starts funneling income. Clear till here? Great. Then use some of those assets to leverage where you could get that liquidity, because when you leverage, obviously you can take a little bit of the money back, create more cash flow and more liquidity. What happens? You have created multiple amount of passive income streams, which means that over a period of time, you will see automatically the wealth grow up. Make sense? Great. Benefits. Our clients in the room, it's you don't do anything about it. It's just like a business in a box. Once it starts, your team takes care of it. It's kind of automated. Risk reward equation. You see, almost 80% of our, more than 90% of the assets that we manage is just absolutely risk-free assets. So even if there is a little fire upstairs, you can contain it, right? Yes? Makes sense? The best benefit of all, estate planning. Now imagine, we have seen this happen where the children are abroad. One is in one continent, other one is another continent. And imagine giving them a nice little big piece of land somewhere in outskirts of Bangalore. What's better? Having this or having that? A business in a box. Obviously, you have created assets, you have created cash flow, you have the team, everything. It's working together. Just put it in a trust. Works. Yes? Possible? Great. Yep. So that's it. I mean, I would like to end my presentation. I hope it was useful with this thought, is that I wanted this to be a guess, but this is not working properly. So it says, be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. Everybody knows him, right? Everybody knows this. However, today, how many of you are fearful? Almost none. Everybody is trying to make more and more. Yeah, makes sense? I hope this works because, yeah, good. Who said this? To make, the way to make money is to buy when blood is running in the streets. No. It was interesting when I picked up this particular quote, right? Somebody in the crowd said Dracula. No, it's not Dracula. So no, it is this gentleman called Rockefeller, one of the largest foundation in the world. I mean, in terms of the wealth. Um, so you see, the first and the second are interconnected. So you got to be having that formula to make it work. And that's it. Thanks.